Okay, it's podcast radio and stuff. Libupa Lombele South Africa njengamanje. Social media is on fire since Penny Ntuli dropped some bombs yesterday around iholo lakhe Gagasi and the fact that she's not coming back to Gagasi FM. And since she dropped those bombs, we've been getting a lot of pressure from people asking podcast radio and stuff to drop a comment on this about all of this that is happening on social media.
In fact, njengoba ngibona ngithuli ngisabhizi ngiyacabanga ukuthi mina ngicabangani. Ukuthi ngempela mina ngicabangani about this whole thing. But the truth is okwenzeke kuPhenny kubhlungu. Angikufisela omunye umuntu. You know the facts. Ngathini mangithi okwenzeke kuyena. Angithi uofferishiwe contract.
Yes.
But the contract yakhe, it was in a way a form of a demotion. Basingasebenzisa ulimo lokusebenza u9 to 12 job, you know. Mangabe uyabo wonke umuntu mengabe eqala kumsebenzi omusha. Uba nama projections ukuthi uzokhula kanjani. So she's been with Gagasi. I think this was going to be her third season.
Yes.
So I'm sure ukuthi by the time eqala wayelindele ukuthi by the time kufika kwi third season ngizobe ngimuphi. Now all over the sudden sengiyayiswa kwi graveyard show and I'm only going to be doing one show per week, and I think it didn't sit well with her. Now it wouldn't sit well with me. It is a very painful position to be in.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's a painful position, and my heart goes out to Penny because we know that she loves radio. Abantu abaningi bayitshela ukuthi uPenny ujoin radio ngoba nakune huge followership on social media, but that's not the only reason. She was also with Vibe FM. I remember when I was with Vibe FM, she was there as well. So she's a person that loves radio.
Yeah, but even if you follow her on social media, you can tell that she's a person who loves radio.
100%.
That is why she's always been trending for broadcasting on her social media
and trying to get into
Gagasi. At some point, I think she was in the top 5 with East Coast Radio and a competition that East Coast was running on social media. I know she's tried many other radio stations, but she's always been showing this is the direction that she wants to take as a person.
So it's a very, very painful thing that she's going through.
Yes.
So what you and I will be doing is to look at this thing holistically, because mawubuka social media njengamanje amasayidi mabili. Khona abantu abathi uPenny is selfish, why usebenza ama-hour 3 kuphela ngesonto, why benga accept lokho ngoba kumele ukusebenza ama-hour 3 ngesonto kusho ukuthi enyangeni uzosebenza ama-hour 12 bese hola u2800 rand. Why nga accept lokho? That's a fair pay. Bese kuba khona abathi Gagasi idlala ngoPenny. Balindela kanjani ukuthi uPenny aphile ngo2800 rands. So there are those conversations and those two sides akhona ku social media, and ngathi eli dominator ilele lithi Gagasi lidlala ngoPenny. Balindela kanjani ukuthi uPenny aphile ngo2800 rands. And mina nawe ngicabanga ukuthi sizokusho ukuthi it's not that simple. It's not straightforward. It's more nuanced than that. So it's not black and white. There are a lot of things that needs to be considered. So how did we get here? uPenny udrope bomb yokuthi akayirenewanga icontract yakhe with Gagasi FM. Ebelimofferisha yona izathu sidalotho akayirenew icontract yakhe ingoba uthema ngabe bala irate azobe eholelwa yona nama-hours obewenza waphuma nokuthi uzohola 2800 rands. So that's how we got here. And then since then baningi abanye asebephumela obala ngokuthi abekho happy noma bebengekho happy kwiGagasi. Nokunye nje abakhala ngakho singabala Fly Motion oyedwa abaphumela obala, Khaya Dladla ngomunye wabaphumela obala, uKhaya drive.
Asante is a former presenter there na ngeke ngabona Twitter something.
Yes. So what is our take?
Okay, for me, I truly feel for Penny. I think I've already said that it's a very painful position ukuthi ubekuyona. Uyabo ukuthi makade ungene company ubulindele ukuthi after 3 years uzobusula painful ukuzithola stagnant ecompany osebenza kuyona. It is even worse ke mawuzithola kungathi uyareversa. So in her case, I feel like uzithole engazokuthi uyareversa within Gagasi FM, and that is very painful. But I want not to talk too much about Penny Ntuli.
Yeah.
So angifuna ukuyibuka ngendlela ukuthi uba no wrong uba alright, but ngifuna ukukhuluma nge-sector, the radio sector, ama-norms akhona. Now, i-radio sector, when it comes to ama-radio presenters, ama-radio presenters are not permanently employed by the radio station, but they are contracted to the radio station, and they are independent contractors, stroke freelancers. That means they are paid for the time abaspende bela kwi radio station besebenza. So that is what they are paid for. So if you have 4 shows in a month, you are paid imali per show. And if you have 5 shows in a week, so it will be 5 shows times 4, which is going to give you 20 shows. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So you've got 20 shows in a month. So you will be paid in accordance to that. So uNtobeko wenza breakfast show. Mina ngenza Friday night ishow yomgroove. So uNtobeko uzokhokhelwa i-rate evunyelwene ngayo naye times 5 days at the end of the month. So times 5 days in a week, and then times 4, which will give you the number of days at the end of the month. Then mina ngingena only on Fridays, so it will be 4 Fridays in a month. So it means mina ngizokhokhelelwa ama-shows awu-4.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Secondly, i-radio station may approach umuntu. Ama-radio stations are in business. They try to see ukuthi what will you be bringing to the table. You know, they will be looking at your social media following. They'll be looking at your experience in radio or broadcasting. They will be looking at a lot of things. Then they will say, okay, uNtobeko, this is what he is bringing to the table. Then they will negotiate e-rates based on what you are bringing to the table. They will negotiate e-rates based on the show that you are doing. So we might be working for the same radio station, but be on different rates, simply because uNtobeko commands a huge following on social media, and uNtobeko has been with XYZ radio station. So ubena usephuma kuma radio stations awu 1, 2, 3, and is a seasoned radio presenter. Therefore, he's bringing more on the table. Then in negotiation, kaNtobeko nekantokozo ayifani, because uNtokozo is just fresh from a community radio. He's only been with one community radio station. He's not that huge on social media, but we can see that he's growing. So let us give him the opportunity to join us and see what he can offer. So ama rates awazofana. Is it unique to radio ukuthi abantu babe nama rates angafani benza umsebenzi ofanayo? No, it's not unique to radio.
Yeah.
It's happening in other industries as well. Is it unique to radio ukuthi abantu baqashwe as freelancers? No, it's not unique to radio. You go to the insurance industry, for example, people are hired in the insurance industry as freelancers. So it's not something that is unique to radio. So, ngifuna ukuya kule air 2,800 per month. So, I agree ukuthi makuthi leya rate ebipostwe uPenny izomnikeza 2,800 for all the shows at the end of the month. I agree ukuthi uzothola 2,800, but asikwazi ukuthi it's 2,800 per month ngoba it is about the hours she spent at the radio station. So she can then use the radio station to even build her brand even further than it is, and then begin to get ama-gig. Ama-gig end up imnikeza more money than the radio station. The radio station does not stop her from being a program director we were rally IFP, we rally IFP a couple of weeks ago. Radio station does not stop her from being a part of the MCs. Njengoba kade kurawunda iWeb Ellis Cup la eThekwini. Nothing stops her from that. So in a nutshell, I'm trying to say the rate that she is offered, it was a rate that is between her and her employer, right? And we cannot look at it from the angle yokuthi we are exploit or no exploit. But in many angle yokuthi athina terms of engagement akhe nomqashi, she is a freelancer. So this is what they were offering to pay her per show. And uzothola ukuthi baningi abanye abasakazi within the same station who are being offered exactly the same rate, and bona they are accepting it. Yeah.
And so thanks for breaking it down like that, because I think it helps to understand without attaching emotions to it, because also we feel sorry for Penny, when we put our emotions, but rationally when you look at the process, that's how it works. So, but I want to come back to you mentioning around exploitation, because that's what is happening on social media right now. Bakala Gutu Penny is being exploited by Gagas. So what I want to highlight is that Penny Ngalengati recorded video and they sent a balingwati like keep it on social media. She didn't complain the rate I told her.
Okay.
What she complained about Gutama hours as Ubewenza Mangani. So she wanted more shows. So it might be the same rate, but she wanted more shows. Actually
reasonable net pay. Reasonable net pay.
2,800
yes.
Because currently right now people are calling it Gagasi 2.8 FM because of this thing that has been happening. So I now also looking at the Penny issue with what you've outlined. Is the rate that Gagas was offering Penny fair or not? I think that's a very difficult question to answer, because asbaza abanye abasakazi ba Gagas bahola kanjani. And uma ngabubuka uPenny ngalenkathi engena kwiGagas even this season lephelayo ubenza more shows. Okusho ukuthi njengoba ekhishiwe njengamanje kulawa ama shows abewenza sezowenza ishow eyodwa Sundays. Ngokwazi kwami nokunderstanda kwami there is a trainee slots lesabefakwa kusona. Okungenzeka ukuthi kune rate umuntu owenza i-trainee slot anikwa yona. So if ukuthi that's the rate uPenny enikwa umuntu onze i-trainee slot, is it fair now ukuthi Gagas lim-offerisha leyo mali okusho ukuthi uzohola less than what she was earning per rate if ukuthi rate yakhe ayinyukanga noma yehlile, because we don't know what she was earning previously. She said it's not far from 2,800, but she didn't say it. So with that question, Uguti, is it fair or not? I don't think we can answer the question that straightforward. Uguti, if fair, no ma equal fair. But what we can do, Uguti, I do believe Mina, Uguti, as much as what this amount seems small, Uguti 2,800 rand inyanga. But if I were Penny, or if I was to advise a Penny, I was gonna do the show. Firstly, I was going to do the show, and after doing the show, use the platform to push my brand, like you said, Ndogozo, to do MC gigs, to do other gigs. I do feel like that was going to give her more platform, and there was going to be more that was going to come out of her.
Okay, with that being said, akali ngoPenny ukuthi umsakazi abe demoted, if I may put it that way. Asuke from doing a well-positioned slot, ayokwenza a slot that is not really well-positioned. Kodwa futhi aphinda bounce back. Let me just remind you, ukuthi not long ago, Uchata Gagasi FM was removed from the drive, and he was taken to a midnight show, and he stayed on. And I can tell you now that he took a knock in terms of his pay. He even took a knock in terms of the gigs that he was getting.
Yeah.
But he stayed on, and he worked himself, and he found himself back on the drive, which he's currently doing. Not long ago, with Gagasi FM itself, Bebe Shagazi breakfast show, Alex and the crew. And Jacinta Ngobese found herself doing an early AM show, 4 to 6 in the morning. And I can tell you now that she took a knock in her pay. And because she took a knock in her pay, but she did hold on. Where is she now? She was able to bounce back. She's doing a primetime slot, one of the most popular DJs within Ivuma FM, doing 9 to 12. Ulaki Sfata, Kukozi FM, he was also moved from a drive and taken to an 8 to 10 or 8 to 11 show at night. Ega Denzel Drive. Did he leave Kukozi? He stayed on as well. So, ngezamukuthi ukususwa kwislotho senzayo, it is not something that is happening for the first time. DJ Naves and Spectacular, bebekade bekwi drive yeGagasi, doing very well. Metro FM yabathatha. Mayibathatha Metro FM yenze njani? Yabanikeza i-drive. One season after that, yabayisa kwi-weekend. That's a huge blow, but they stayed on.
Yeah.
Usiamhlomo, they took him from Gagasi FM, they gave him a gospel, then they moved him to a prime time. He did 12 to 3, he did it drive. Then after that, he was no longer part of the lineup, but he says when a podcast, Yokozi FM. That is a huge knock for him, but he stayed on. So it is all about ukuthi abasakazi bayakwazi ukuthi bamelane nama decisions athathwa yilaba abasuke bewathatha mase beyaplan ukuthi how they are going to bounce back. The truth of the matter is, within the radio industry, nasty things happen, Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to go.
No, they do happen.
You know, you've outlined examples la khona abantu sebemove from one show to another, babekezela babuya and benza kahle. Ukushuthi no pay belalithola lelo.
Exactly. And I do believe in that. That is why I'm saying this.
The season elandelayo, there's a bigger platform, maybe a better show.
Yes.
Kuba ngabe seyiprovile on that training slot. Ngoba ngenze ukuthi mhlambe abaphathi beGagasi khona bazwe ukuthi khona sadinga ukulungisa okwamanje. That's why bemnikele slot bemisa kusona. But the bigger point that I want to make is that with all of these examples that you've made, I think there's a bigger discussion that you and I should have with a podcast about ukusebenza kwe-radio industry. Nalo offerisho kwama-contracts and every year siyalindi line up ukuthi izoshintsha ubani olahlekelwe umsebenzi, because it's not nice. But this is how the industry works. So we probably need to bring some experts and talk about, is it fair ngendlela industry sebenza ngayo, because there's no certainty. Awazi ukuthi uzobona wena umsebenzi the following season, but okusalayo neingane unomuzi ziningi izinto kumele uzenze wena as umsakazi or employed. So I think we do need to look at industry as part of the entertainment industry. Entertainment industry is unfair. So I think even in radio industry is unfair. We probably need to look at how it works.
Yeah, but with that being said, it's very important for any person who chooses a career to understand
how it works.
Career radio industry, this is how it works, and it's been like this for years now. Ukuthi sebenza ngonge freelancing, isayina as an independent contractor. And it is not unique to the radio industry. It is happening in other industries as well. The same thing is happening with sports.
Yeah.
If I sign up with Kaizer Chiefs now as a soccer player, it is a contract. At the end of the season, I might find myself not being part of the team. I'm just making an example in Gebolala. So it is not unique to the radio industry. And for the people who want to get into the industry and those who are already in the industry, it is important to understand what type of industry are you pursuing. And mina nawe, thina siyithandela radio, you understand? And kulula ukuthi with social media sikhulume, sigxeke, but we are not privy to certain information about the industry. Ukuthi i-industry le esebenza kanjani kahle hle.
No, I agree, but what I just want to caution on what you just said. one of the most dangerous things is to say this is how it's always been done. The fact that it's always been done this way, it does not mean it's right. So the fact that radio industry sebenza kanje, I accept that. But is it right? Is it fair? Is it just? Can it be better? Can it be improved?
Yeah. The truth is, I'm incorrect mangabe ngithi it's always been done. It has been done ngalendlela for a long time.
Yeah.
But we know ukuthi i-SABC, there was a time lapho nabasakazi kade be full time, bekade benama medical aid. We recently had an interview with the ex-wife of Ukansas City Ntuli, and she did say he had some benefits such as medical aid and so on. And we know what in recent years the SABC got the retrencher abasebenzi babo. So we know Uti, I'm not sure until when, but there was a time when he set up your employment within the broadcasting industry, especially the SABC was not like this. But that is a topic for a different day.
Yeah, I think let's wrap this up because kuningi esingakhuluma ngakho nge-industry. Sine episode esodropha in the next coming weeks lapho nesikhuluma ngama struggles e-community radio sector. Ngoba njengoba nisikhuluma ngokuthi kwi-Gagasi FM, which is a commercial radio station, uPenny was gonna mawusubuka i-rate yakhe ekupheleni kwenyanga mawusuwenze lawo ma-shows ubezohola 2,800 rand. Kwi-community radio sector maningi ama-community abasakazi abasebenza khona bangaholi even a cent, and mina nawe sisebenzele community radio sector, we were not getting paid a cent. Yes. But we have an episode on that where we'll be sharing all of our experiences within the community radio sector. If you subscribe to podcast radio and stuff and keep it locked here, you will see that episode. But anything else around Penny?
No, nothing else around Penny. All I can say is all the best to her. She's a very talented young lady. I believe in her, and I think that she can rise again from this one. Same here. I would not have done it the way that she did it. I would not have left a radio station. I would have used a platform to give me more opportunities. I truly believe that, like Ndogozo said, it was MC in many events. That was going to continue if you ask me. So but we are here now. So all we can say is that we wish Penny all the best. We hope this video assisted in clarifying some of the things that you wanted to know. We might be wrong on some of the things, and if we are, feel free to go to the comment section and tell us your views and thoughts. If you feel like this guy is talking crap, just say it as it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Podcast radio and stuff on YouTube. Let's talk.